Welcome to class. We're going to be discussing the difference between men and women's health. It's a good suggestion for a topic submitted by the Deep Sea Sister. And something I should have got around to a long time ago, but we're going to go ahead and tackle it right now. This is a very important issue right here. I think this was a good topic. I appreciate that, sis. I hope y'all can see this all right. Y'all got to excuse my handwriting. You know, I'm a doctor though, so hey, that's how we write. But I want y'all to look at these lists. I know this one is quite longer than that one, but I want you fellas, you brothers, you look at this list and you tell me what you think this might be. What are these ingredients for? What are these ingredients to? And before you start trying to figure it out, I just want you to know that half of the ingredients I couldn't fit on the list because I just ran out of room. So this is just some of the ingredients to a formula that you should know. Ladies, these are also some ingredients. These are some things that you should know about. What do these things have to do with you? Fellas, what do these things have to do with you? Well, the answer is quite simple. These are some of the ingredients in a teaspoon of sperm. 1 ejaculation. Sodium, calcium, chlorine, choline, citric acid, ascorbic acid, creatine, fructose, inositol, lactic acid, magnesium, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, zinc. I think I said sodium already. And the list goes on. And this is just in the sperm. The sperm is only 1% of the semen. So this is just the 1%. This is what part of the ingredients to make up that 1%. We didn't get into the whole 99%. But this is what you got to be aware of, fellas. That every time you let loose, that you let go of all these vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. The equivalent to an orange. You let loose the equivalent, the amount of vitamin C equivalent to 1 orange with every ejaculation. That's approximately. And this is just what they say. This is shit you can find out on the computer. So these numbers probably would be different for melanated people. I'm willing to bet. These ingredients are the things released during a woman's menstruation cycle, during your lunar cycle. These are some of the things that you lose. Calcium, folate, which is just folic acid, iron, zinc, iodine, vitamins B, C, D, and we'll get to that later. If you don't know what phytoestrogens, rather, and you need to look that up, ladies. But yeah, this is why it's important to know the difference between men and women's health. Of course, it's safe to say that all of the things that are inside of a man's ejaculation are probably inside of a woman's body too. But a woman don't release as many of these things as a man does. A woman is the receiver. Man is the giver. Okay? So when you release these things into the woman, she gains these things as you lose them. Amongst other things. Part of your DNA and all kind of other shit. This is what's important about replenishing. So this is why we can't compare ourselves to each other. This is why we can't just, you're not just getting married and becoming one person. You are two people with specific needs that need to be addressed. Phytoestrogens are substances that contain estrogen-like. Okay, let me re-say that. Phytoestrogens are substances, natural substances that contain chemicals similar to estrogen. Yeah, they're estrogen-like substances that you can eat naturally. And we're going to get into the phytoestrogens and where you can get these things that you lose naturally, brothers and sisters. Because the main thing we need to know about for each of us, when it comes to women, is this. For the men, It's that one. Okay? That's why we find oysters to be an aphrodisiac. Oysters are high in iron and zinc. Women tend to suffer from iron deficiencies. Which they would call anemia. Right? Why? Because during menstruation, you let out a lot of iron. You release a lot of iron. Very important. Another thing, difference between men and women's health. Women, you have to know, not only during your lunar cycle, do you have to prepare ahead of time, replenish during, and, prepare before, supplement during, and then replenish after. There's also another time you have to be aware of your changes. During pregnancy, when you are being drained of vital nutrients and minerals, life force is being shared. So you have to compensate for that. I don't mean you eating for two. It ain't two, y'all. It ain't a whole grown person in there. So you don't have to eat a whole nother cake or pie to get your vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. That's what you want. It's just to replace the nutrients and things being absorbed by the child. Another time. During breastfeeding. It's another time when you're giving, now you're doing the giving, and the child is doing the receiving. So, whatever that child is taking from you is going to have to be replenished. And last, the least favorite, I'm sure, during menopause. You got menopause teas and all kind of treatments to deal with that change in your body. There's a change taking place. These are all changes, metamorphoses, mutations taking place that you have to be adapting to those. So you wouldn't be doing yourself, you do yourself a disservice to eat like your husband during these times. You can't do what he doing. Y'all can't sit down to the same meal all the time. He's not going through these things. Although the man does have a cycle, it's like everything moves on a cycle. Nothing in the universe is exempt from that. This is nature. So men might not have a menstrual cycle or a loss of blood, but we all have cycles. But men face different type of problems, like impotence, low sperm count, low testosterone levels, even hair loss is a more common problem for men than women, even though, just like anemia, men and women can face those things, but more common in men and women because they lose more iron. Men tend to lose testosterone, which causes these problems: sperm count, erectile dysfunction, impotence. Really, this is about blood circulation. Proper blood circulation. This is caused by a lack of nutrients. When the follicles start to die, become dead. There are some genetic traits to it also, but it's mostly a cause of nutrients. Just like a bald spot in the earth, a patch of grass or land in the earth where grass doesn't grow, it's usually something happened there. Something is wrong with that spot. You would notice that it would be different than the rest of the nature. Nature don't have balding. So that's not a natural occurrence. Whether it happened to your father or whatever, it don't mean it's natural. My father went bald, but that don't have to be part of my reality. And you'll say it came from the mother's side, but my mama ain't bald either. So, anyway, yeah, these are just some of the things. Women don't have to worry about impotence, low sperm count, or low testosterone, even though they might have to worry about low estrogen and low testosterone. Is also called male menopause. So some of y'all gonna go through menopause if you don't take care of yourself. A man is not like a woman. You're not born with a set amount of sperm. You regenerate and replenish those. So if you get to a point where you stop doing that, it means you stop putting in the right things that was needed to create the sperm. Basically, I hope that was simple enough. That's it. So, yeah, these are the things we have to remember. I hope I didn't leave anything out. These are just basic things. I'm not really getting into prostate cancer, which is something I probably should talk about. Prostate problems, that's something that's specific to men. It's like ovarian cyst would be a problem for women. So we have to figure out, man, how do we prevent prostate? Maybe it's something we shouldn't be doing that women are doing, and vice versa. Maybe we're doing something wrong. A lot of those are sexual problems. We're going to get into sex ed a little later. But know that prostate problems, brothers, can be caused by being overly sexed. Just like aging too fast. And just a lot of our problems, osteoporosis, that we both go through, is caused by the lack of calcium. That's why we start shriveling up after a while. That's not a natural thing to start shrinking as you get older. It's because we are draining the bones and the body of nutrients, and we don't replace them and replenish them as time goes on. We don't make the necessary changes. As you become a certain age, and you done had a certain amount of kids and everything, think about all the times you've become deficient. How deficient you probably have become during these times. 3 or 4 or 5 kids. And you never took the time to do it. You might have took your prenatal vitamins and all that, but come on. Let your food be your medicine. If you haven't taken proper care of yourself, then you probably are deficient. And you probably will need some detoxing from whatever stuff they gave you during these times. Same with the brothers. You ain't been using herbs in your food and fasting and water as a means to take care of these things, then you probably gonna need some detoxing and probably gonna have some problems reoccur later. So just the fact that we both suffer from these different types of illness, breast cancers, lung cancers, heart attacks, strokes, all these things can be found more predominantly in different sexes for a reason. So we got to be aware of that. Now, I think I'm just going to leave y'all with some natural sources of zinc and iron. far as the other stuff, that you find that out on your own. Because these are the two most important things. Since most of us are suffering from anemia and iron deficiency, and most of us men are having erectile problems caused from the lack of zinc, well, that can be fixed with increase of zinc and other minerals. You're going to have to do more than just get iron and zinc, of course. You're going to have to be holistic. But if you incorporate some of these things, you can knock out a few of them. You can take out kill a few birds with one stone. Some of these things that might be high in iron are also high in other things and contain other nutrients. So you don't have to always worry about trying to figure out what contains what, or does this have, where to find each specific mineral. Alright. Found zinc first, and it's the shortest list, so I'm going to start with that. Okay. Got mushrooms. Some Reiki or shiitake are excellent mushrooms. Pumpkin seeds, of course, we already established are good for the yang. Onion. Excuse my handwriting. Y'all can see it. As long as y'all can make it out, that's all that matters. Nuts. Walnuts, pecans, macadamias, Brazil nuts. Whatever. Almonds and cashews are seeds, not nuts. Sunflower seeds. I'm sure y'all already knew that. Spinach and wheat. Y'all like, that nigga, that's just terrible. Whatever. Now, iron. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna give all of this shit, man. It's too much. Cherries, prunes, raisins. Blackberries, pineapple, grapes, green leafy vegetables. Do I need to even write that? I think that go without saying. If you ain't getting your green leafies, get on your shit. Sea vegetables, I will say that. Wakame and tzatziki. Stuff like that. Of course, spirulina, algae, asparagus. It's a good. Don't get enough shine. Asparagus, cauliflower, beets, sweet potatoes, and winter squash. And alright, millets. That's enough. And also pumpkin seeds, nuts, sunflower seeds. And that's good start right there. You don't need everything. But these are things to remember. Men and women's health. It's different. Look at Queen of Foods book. When you get to the little foreplay section, you'll see that she got a different recipe for men and for the women. You know, it's different things for replenishing the men and the women. Got different ways of treating ourselves because we are different. You know, and that getting around that, ain't nothing wrong with that. We need to stop trying to be the same. Stop comparing ourselves to each other and learn about ourselves and accept the differences and learn to love the differences in ourselves. So I hope that was informational. I don't think I forgot anything. But yeah, it's very important, brothers. You know, just to add this as a side note, brothers and sisters, but especially brothers, to make sure we're replenishing and getting our proper replenishing and getting our proper nutrients after these, you know, after these releases, because it's different for us. And this, from a health standpoint, also, ladies, you better also be aware that you are the receiver. That's not our thing to really be worried about. That's why they claim so many things will affect you and not us, because you are doing all the receiving. So these are things you got to be thinking about before you decide to, you know, receive anyone's energy. And, you know, could get into, maybe later we'll get into some more of the science of bodily fluids and the energy involved in that, and the consequences of exchanging fluids with the wrong type of energy. I think that's important to discuss, but maybe not right now. But yeah, that's important. And for women, like I said, during that time, lunar cycle, pregnancy, breastfeeding, especially those times, because you are nurturing life during those times. What you do during menopause, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't too many people gonna be affected by that but you. But when you're dealing with that child, it's very important to do what you're supposed to be doing for yourself and for that child. Make sure that you and the child don't miss out on anything. Don't miss any of the building blocks that are needed for them to grow. We don't want you to be losing out on anything also. So, y'all excuse my handwriting. Got any questions about anything that's up there? Anything you couldn't read? It didn't make no sense. If I need to do it again, I'll do it again. But that's what it is. Men and women's health. You said it best, sister. Men and women completely are two completely separate ideas. I think that's how she said it. Very well said. And thank you for this suggestion. Thank y'all for listening. Be healthy. Peace.